Hi, my name is Ray. I'm in London here in February 2013. The sun is shining. However, I'm not grinding away because I'm really enjoying what I do. I'm working in online marketing and online business as an entrepreneur. I've been entrepreneurial for quite some time now. There's a history there of coaching and working within renewable energies overseas to help eradicate poverty in East Africa. And then, of course, unfortunately, the recession hit. Now, however, not to subscribe to the notion of that recession is going to completely stall and do everything. I used to have the old world model of doing business, which would have fallen into that trap, and it did. And unfortunately, I was one of the casualties of that fallout. However, the old world order, though still intact in its sad many permutations, there is also a new kind of wave of how to do things. And effectively, this notion of being more empowered and more able and utilizing the modern day tools of the information age, namely the internet, and leveraging the power of the internet, and of course, IT and computers, various technology, mobile technologies, and the tools and strategies which are part of that kind of realm and that domain. But there are some kind of fundamental key things that still are shared, and that kind of overlap across the board, whether you're offline or online, and effectively is what one needs to do to launch a business. There's a fantastic example of how to do it, and sadly there are many examples of how not to do it, and I happen to know quite well how to do that, and I've been recovering from that for quite some time. However, that road, that return back to my inner self and inner source is definitely on the up and up and moving quite well, so that I'm happy to say. However, the key thing is for some of those people who are kind of going and looking at something new, maybe they've never been their own boss, maybe they've just lost their jobs and they're still kind of reeling from that. Maybe their whole world has been turned upside down and they're looking at a very bleak future or horizon because their present is not particularly as they want it. Having gone through that kind of down and through the dirges of hell to kind of come out, I did not necessarily want to and need to go through Dante's Inferno, but somehow I managed to do it. All I got to say is that if you can avoid it, sometimes we need those kind of frying pans or ice picks in the forehead to really get us to move. However, if you can really kind of pull yourself together and get on with it and carry it and harness it as opposed to get completely overwhelmed by it, that's key. So the idea of if you have an opportunity or you really want to launch your own business, I say just go for it. It could be ragged, it could be rickety, it could be unsure, and that's all part of it. But the beginning stages of just to kind of very, very thumbnail map it out, you get the idea, you get excited, you go tell everybody about it, you see what their response is, you test the market, you do market research, however, guys, whatever form shape that is, and you identify whether or not you think it'll go forward, and many people either frown on it, many people either go for it, and if it's a fantastic idea, off it goes. But if you're passionate about it, and you really think you can make a go of it, give it a go. However, I wouldn't necessarily say put all your eggs in one basket, and what I mean by that is don't throw all your capital and all your finances behind one thing, because in the event that it may not fly, it's not because it's a case of having that negativity and that mindset of doubt, but it's always good to be sensible and smart and to cover your assets, because one of the key things is that you may come across people who will try and take it from you. Non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, actually, when it comes to kind of the international world that we live in, don't mean shit. And they only mean shit if you basically have a pool of lawyers and retainer, because you're big enough and bad enough and affordable, can afford to have these guys around that can go after anybody who basically tries to copy and cheat you out of your goods. It doesn't take much for somebody to tweak something that basically they can then turn around and call their own. However, to launch your business, nowadays we often get caught up with the idea, or social media is cool, but we get caught up in this whole thing of instant access. So we want to get on the internet, and we want to get on our mobile phones, and we get on our Skype, and we have that instant access, and we need to reach it, and that's all fantastic. And in fact, that is very empowering in the modern day, and you can outsource all these kind of amazing things. But at the end of the day, it's about people and connecting with real people. It's convenient to have these tools, but if you really have an opportunity to rub shoulders with them and really kind of share in their passion, that's, for example, Recently, I went to a fantastic event in Austin, and it was there. The title of the event was "Release Your Inner Badass," and that's exactly what happened. There was a room full of 3, 4, 5,000 leaders. They're not leaders, newbies, anybody within that were going through a broad spectrum of breakthroughs of how and what one can do to be more empowered and more successful. And it all started up in here, and you could see the shift going around. You could feel the energy, the dynamism, the power, the passion. The tears were flowing. It was all alive. It was real. It was raw. That is the power of I think, of doing a business. Because a business is, you have customers, and you might be an owner, or you might be a partner, you're doing JVs. It's about people. Ultimately, everything, we are social creatures. And in order to harness a good idea, to really kind of, jockey it into the positioning of where you want, you got to work with other people. I mean, some people do it alone. Some people get lost in hot desking on their own in the middle of the night. I mean, I know I do that sometimes in the wee hours, just me and my Skype. Occasionally I reach out or I message somebody when I touch base, but it's not quite the same. So in launching your business is, yes, start a conversation with everybody. Tease it out, feel it out. Facebook's fantastic for that. Social media, Twitter is fantastic for that. Get some feedback. Be careful, make sure that you don't give your value away, because that's key, because otherwise you shoot your business in the foot. But, add value. Make sure that you do add value. Make sure that you're also congruent with that. Make sure that you also align yourself with people who have your best interests, not just their own. So, in launching your own business, yes, use the tools. However, not just getting stuck on the phone, because the idea at the end of the day is if you want to scale it up is get off the phone and, as they say, pick up the paycheck or pick up the check. And the key behind that is that once you've really identified, I mean, that's kind of at a different stage, but the vision is the same. You have that objective and that goal, then the clarity of drive, the clarity of energy, the clarity of focus, the clarity of objective, being the direction of where it is that you're going, you have the roadmap. However, sharing and getting ideas from others is key, because there'll be scenarios that people who've either done it or even the fact that they haven't done it, and the reaction may say, look, I wouldn't even go near that if you asked me, because it's just not. That's feedback. Don't take that as necessarily completely negative. Take that as just feedback, and it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. But don't be afraid. Know that you are not alone. Know that there is even a community of people out there. There's a very empowered community right out there who's got an online presence right now of 80+ strong. There are people out there like-minded who are doing it themselves, who are being fantastically successful. So if you have a primary idea in a business that you want to promote, that's great. Get in on it as well. If you would like to have any additional kind of successes that would enable you to get that confidence to promote yourself further and feel better and get going, get the quality of life, and then take your life in an area that you hope to get or dream about. That's there too. So, in a nutshell, launching your own business is key in the sense of get off the fence, but be sensible. Don't just think about it. Don't overanalyze. Don't overtest. Don't over this. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. I'm saying you should do that, but don't get stuck in it. The confidence level can often be, confidence can be somewhat shattered because we just had a bad experience. Separate that out. Those are separate experiences, and just overcome that. Sort your head out and kind of get out of your way. Watch what others are doing. Emulate them, and use the tools. Facebook is a great place to explore it. Social media is a great place to kind of almost research the market with it. However, finding those key people that will support you, that will watch your back, and even hold you accountable, which is key, because often we don't even hold ourselves accountable, and as a result, we can make just the slightest mistake. We just turn the dial ever so slightly because of the feedback we get, and find out, actually, boom, that's the direction I needed to go when I was just so close, but not quite there. Not that you want to smoke cigars, some people do, but hey, you want to have the cigar. You don't want to be close and no cigar. You want to be on it with the cigar and holding it in your hand and basically reaping the rewards and enjoying yourself. And that's what it's all about. So on that note, get out there, go for it, don't be shy, take action, and we'll see you there. Take care. Thanks. Bye. Because that's where it's at.